What's going on, everybody? Gaming Diva here. In today's video, we're going to be reacting to Diablo's 4 video. Apparently, Blizzard officially announces the new expansion is coming in Diablo 4. I'm currently playing it on the PS5. Of course, you guys that haven't seen any of my gameplay on it yet is because I've been playing it offline. Been praying that Season 2 will be a whole lot better than Season 1, but I don't know. We'll see. So let's get off into today's video.
But we did just receive a fairly large announcement about the history and future of Diablo series. So let's go ahead and get into that. We'll be adding annual expansions to Diablo 4. Now, on this announcement, this actually gave me mixed feelings, which I want to explain to you now. So first, let's explain what's going on. This is an interview by Dextero. If you want to read the full thing, as usual, I will have my sources linked down below. Now, Diablo 4 GM confirms annual expansions for the game. Now, if you are not familiar what an expansion exactly is to the Diablo franchise, this would be like Lord of Destruction for Diablo 2 or Reaper of So for Diablo 3. Effectively, these are purchasable portions of new content, which very often mean they are mandatory if you wish to play a live service game at the peak with everybody else. You pretty much always buy these expansions. For instance, when World of Warcraft was constantly launching expansions, there were some people that did buy Lich King that stayed in Burning Crusade, but not very many. Like people that are actually playing the game, they're all going to buy these expansions. Yeah. This does sort of make sense because, as we know, in the campaign, it leaves at sort of a cliffhanger.
It does.
Yes, we kill Lilith, but no, we do not have all of the big bads out of the way. So, what exactly did they say for annual expansions? Well, take a look here. This is Rod Ferguson, an answer to the question about asking what exactly the future of Diablo 4 looks like. He says, but you know, it's years and years. That's the thing we're focused on. When you look at the launch of the game in this first season, we see that building a foundation on which can build for the future. So as we look at our quarterly seasons and we look at our annual expansions, those are things we're really focused on for our live service. We've got plans. We have storylines that go well into the future. We've got plans. We're always leapfrogging our seasons and leapfrogging our expansions. So it's something we are going to do for a long time. We're excited. He continues with, when you look back and realize that there were 11 years between Diablo 3 and Diablo 4, that feels like we didn't live up to our players, our community, and what they deserve. That's something we are rectifying in Diablo 4 with our seasons and our expansions. Effectively, what they want is a slow bleed-in of content so that there will always be a next expansion, a next season, a new update. They don't want you to feel like the updates are 11 years in between, which is fair enough. Now, I have somewhat mixed opinions on this, admittedly. First of all, I like to hear new content is coming to the game. That is always going to be something I am going to enjoy, considering my permit.
So, before we continue with his thoughts on that, I'm going to give my thoughts. And I kind of understand the reason why he's probably having mixed feelings as somebody that had been playing the game. I played the closed beta, open beta, going off into the early release of the game. So right now, one thing I will say Blizzard got right, the story was phenomenal. I enjoyed playing the story. Cool. The issue is when you start to get off into the end game. The end game really gets dry and overly repetitive very, very quickly. And I know what you guys are going to say, but it's a grindy game. It's a grind game. Yes, I get that. But I can name other grindy games. Prime example like Borderlands 3, where that's also a grindy game, but it also feels very rewarding too at the same time. To where you can still spend hours on end playing the game, and you won't really, like, if you get tired of doing one thing, you can go off and do something else. So one of the biggest things that I believe and know and feel, in which the other content creators, um, such as DM and Wudio and I would even say Osmogold, have all stated, is that it's not enough content in end game. So like once you get to end game, you feel that like that very, very slow progression, like around about they were saying around about 60 or 70. I would argue the fact that you really start to feel that slow down in progression at around level 40. Level 40, and then once you hit 60, it kind of gets better a little bit, and then it slows all the way back down again until you get to 100. And even then, um it's luck based, it's RNG, so you can still be grinding for, you know, what's this thing here, you still could be grinding for your gear, you still could be grinding for, um the certain, uh the Ubers that I say that just don't exist in the game. And the day that it was dropping a lot in the Hell Tides, I missed out on that. But anyway, so like what Diablo needs to fix and fast is they need to add more and better content for the end game. And if they want to really retain people playing their game in between the seasons, and then now he's saying that the expansions is going to be an annually thing, so once a year. uh, so my thoughts on that is they need to put a lot of good content in the end game in order to retain their players, because I'm one of the ones who were, when it came out, I was grinding it every single day and would be playing it like 10-12 hours a day. Stay at home mom, I can do that. But the point is, once I got to level, because I have one character, like before the season 1 started, I have one character that's level 90. That character isn't even level 100 yet. And then when season 1 started, I literally grinded out my season pass, and then I stopped playing the game because it's like season 1 content for me was so bad to the point to where I didn't even care what was going on as far as the story, the season story plot in season 1. I was just rushing past the dialogue. I didn't care. I was like so very uninterested. And then the fact that it took them so long to, I guess in their attempts to fix a bunch of stuff, they messed up a bunch of stuff, which they came back and they rightfully apologized, and they didn't make any excuses for it. But I'm the type of person, I want to see the results. Show me in the actions, show me what's going to be priority. And not going to lie to you, nobody cares about leaderboards. Like, Blizzard, the Diablo 4 team, and I know it's a new team. Like Rod Ferguson had made that very clear that the same team that worked on the previous Diablo games is not the same team. Completely different people, which is understandable. But at the same token, it's just like, okay, so did they not play the previous Diablo games? So, stuff like that. So for me, it's just like, okay, if your players is sitting here telling you the problem with your game right now is in game, and you need to add more content, enjoyable content that feels rewarding, that's going to make us play that game for hours on end, you know, then that's kind of what you need to do. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, it's like, you know, in the dungeons, the nightmare dungeons, yeah, it gets very tiring, and then eventually turn the game off, or you go and you play a different game. So with games like Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield and all these other games that I'm like very high contenders for game of the year, Diablo 4, Blizzard, y'all need to bring your A game. If you want Diablo 4 to be a game of the year contender, which I know it can be, because like I said, the main story before you get to end game was love it. And like he said, it ended on a cliffhanger. So let's see what my boy has to say about what he was about to say.
There is not currently enough content in the game for me to want to log in every single day, and I am playing Path of Exile. I've been very clear about this. So for me,
what's funny, and I'm sorry, and I'm gonna go back to him. What's funny is I've never played a Path of Exile game, but because Diablo was lacking in its end game, I literally went and started playing Path of Exile. And the simple fact that I'm having more fun with an older game that's been out for eons, Blizzard, like, what are y'all doing for real?
When they announced that yes, there will be new expansions, I think, great, that means there will be new content. But a part of me also thinks that, hey, this new content that we should be adding in the game should be fixing the original game. The focus should be right now on actually adding into the content that me and the other consumers have already spent
adding into the content
and while
and
expansions will be great to
fixing
add content
the
to
game.
I do not feel like I want to spend additional money to add content into a game that I feel like is
That's
already
broken.
incomplete.
Oof.
Essentially what I'm saying is I hope the solution to the lack of in-game in Diablo 4 is not by selling us another expansion to the game. To be fair to Rod, that is not what he said is happening. He says they are looking at quarterly seasons. This was the first thing he mentioned, which are every 3 months.
Every 3 months.
And we look at our annual expansions. So he does mention both of them in tandem. I also prefer transparency and honesty with what it is they're working on in games like these. So when they come out and say, yes, we're going to be doing an expansion every year, I see that as a form of communication. So I prefer them telling us that instead of just selling us expansions every single year. I am also not opposed to the concept of purchasing expansions. As long as the original base game has enough value in it and the additional expansion adds enough that it justifies the price of a new expansion, I will purchase expansions in games. I don't feel like I was ever ripped off paying for expansions in World of Warcraft, for instance, as that is a live service game that I enjoyed very much. It also had a subscription fee within the game. So when I bought Burning Crusade, when I bought Lich King, when I bought, well, let's admit Cataclysm, not as much, but when I bought the expansions, I wasn't necessarily disappointed with what they had to offer, but they had major storylines, they had major raids, new items, level cap increases, etc. So if I'm going to purchase additional expansions within the Diablo 4 universe, I'm expecting the same level of delivery. I would also hope the manpower is currently focused.
Exactly. I agree with him on that. Like, now, granted, I've never played any of the World of Warcraft games, but I feel like that's up there in that same tier level will be the Guild Wars too. Anytime I've gone back to like Guild Wars and see what they've added that's new, which I haven't played that game in eons either, but they've added a bunch of stuff. But you get your money's worth when they add those expansions, and even then it's like, and also like the price tag on the expansions is reasonable too as well. I do believe with us being in this new generation of PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, that's probably one of the other reasons why like a lot of people is very, you know, teed off at the fact like, hey, we out here spending an arm and a leg for expansions, and you're not delivering with the type of, you're not delivering on the quality of the content that justifies the price tag.
Focused on the seasons. The first seasons were lackluster, meaning that going into season 2, it needs to be better than season 1.
Yes.
Season 3 will need to be better than season 2. We have a long ways to go to have a fully developed competitive game within the ARPG space. For that reason, I'm hoping the focus is on fleshing out this game. I know they have a bajillion employees, so they can probably do both at the same time. It would make sense. But I would like to see the original core game be fully fleshed out before I spend more money purchasing an expansion for a game. An interesting point of data here from a GameSpot article says that Diablo 3's expansion, Reaper of the Souls, sold 2.7 million units, which at the time Diablo 3 had sold 15 million units. So it was a 1 to 5 conversion ratio. Considering that Diablo 4 was the highest selling Blizzard product of all time, they sell another 20% of those consumers an additional XPAC, it would make sense as to why they are focusing on creating them annually. I'm not opposed to them continuing to sell products to a live service game. I am of the opinion that if a game is good, I will give it enormous amounts of my money. The name is Darth Microtransactions.
Exactly.
Path of Exile,
and I literally just said that too.
And I'm $600 into that
if it's quality content and enough of it and it justifies the price tag,
it's a good game that I'm enjoying.
Take my money, basically.
And also continues to get better. So I don't feel worse with my purchase as time goes on. I feel better with my purchase as time goes on.
Exactly.
I'm willing to give Diablo 4 the same level of consideration. If these expansions continue to come out and they are big deliveries every year of big chunks of new main story. The campaign was quite good in Diablo. I do think I got my money's worth from playing Diablo's the campaign.
Yes.
The campaign story with good cutscenes and everything is the same.
I agree.
I'm willing to give it some more money into the game. I will be. I'm probably not going to buy the battle pass. I'm not buying the battle pass every season right now. I don't think the cut.
Yeah. Ooh wee. Honey child. Ooh. So many people are mad about that battle pass. And look, I don't, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Like, if y'all been living under a rock, season one battle pass, like, okay, you know how, like, in everybody else's battle pass, let's look at Fortnite, let's look at Apex Legends, let's look Call of Duty, right? When you buy their battle pass, they have enough of whatever that currency that's in that game to where you can save that up or spend it on cosmetics. You can either save that up for the next battle pass, or you can use your money and spend it on the different types of cosmetics that's in the game. Tell me why, y'all. Oh my goodness. And this made me mad. And the simple fact that I watched some other videos and this was making other people mad too. On the oof, you only get 666 of their currency in Diablo 4. And then on top of that, like, there's other videos that is gonna basically explain it more better and eloquently than I can right now. But the whole point is in order for you to get one of the seasons for free, you literally gonna have to spend two more battle passes in hopes of having enough to probably pay for either season 4 or season 5. And even then, you're still gonna have to buy some more of the currency, because it's gonna leave you one coin off. And I'm like, oh, Blizzard, what are y'all doing? What are you doing? Baby, honey, child, what is y'all doing?
Cosmetics alone are going to be worth it, but the battle pass isn't mandatory, and there's no subscription fee within the game. So I am willing to give it some additional money. However, I say however, my concern is that the solutions to the complaints right now within Diablo need to be pounded down and figured out in the game that people have originally already purchased. We should not sell the solution to an incomplete product by selling the more complete product. That is one man's opinion. So if they would like to get someone like me to purchase the...
I agree. And the other example of this is, like, back when me and my husband, we was playing Destiny 2, which is why we just completely stopped messing with Destiny 2. An example of this that me and my husband experiences with Destiny 2. Playing Destiny 2, like at the 11th hour, when they when they fired a bunch of people, or a bunch of people had left, they completely changed the story. And then things like when they brought out the expansions, we were like, yo, this was already a part of the game, but they took it out and they resold it as DLC. So what he was saying, and kind of what I agree upon too, is just like, there's nothing wrong. Like, if y'all want to add expansions and other sticky eyes to stuff for people to buy, like, give us a complete product first and foremost. Make sure your game is almost 100% perfect, if not perfect. And if there are bugs and glitches in your game and stuff that you messed up on that you need to fix that first before you start, hey, you guys, look, and now what's coming out is this. Like, boy, we spent so much money on Destiny 2, bruh. It's a shame. And like, I made a joke and I was telling my husband, I was like, yo, we gotta look, we're already deeply invested. We have to ride this. We have to ride this until the wheels fall off, until the actual wheels did fall off. And we like, well, all that money invested. I'm like, well, let's hope and pray things get better in Destiny 2. I mean, not Destiny 2, Destiny 3, whenever that comes out. But anywho's, I digress.
Expansion, show delivery of an otherwise good original product that I purchased and make me satisfied with the original product within your next few seasons, and then sell me the addition to that product in which the original product I am satisfied with.
That's crazy, y'all. I swear to you, I did not watch this video first. Great minds think alike.
early, in my opinion, before we wrap up and finish the original product would be a mistake. However, they say annual expansions. They didn't say the next expansion is coming right now. Annual would be at a minimum of another 8 months from now. In 8 months, we could have a pretty solid banger of a game if they grind out and fix all of the complaints that we've been seeing, add new itemization. We know new bosses are coming in season 2, etc. So in 8 months, when the next expansion maybe will come out, which will be a year at that point, we can look back and see, is the original product created one that I feel satisfied with my purchase, and do I believe they are deserving of additional purchases? If that is the case at the time, then you will see me purchasing the expansion. That was my mixed feelings upon seeing the announcement that we saw about this annual expansion here. And I don't think it's that big of a deal that they're coming out with expansions. I know there was some pushback by some people that the game's not finished and they're already announcing expansions. They said annual, so we're talking 8 months, which means by then they should have 4 seasons completed. And if they can't get the game fixed in 4 seasons, you know what to do about buying the expansion.
Exactly.
That's just one man's opinion. Love you.
Exactly. Oof. And it's a shame. So unfortunately, everything that DM said in this video, I 100% totally agree with. And no, I did not watch this video before I recorded. I promise y'all I didn't. If y'all go back and watch a lot of the content creators that make content off of Diablo 4, we're all pretty much saying the same thing. Fix your game. Don't worry about the leaderboards and the other cosmetics and sticky. We don't care. Look, the people that's really gonna spend money, and like I get it, like I'm about to go off on a tangent here. They're catering to like and you know, I know Blizzard, Diablo 4, they don't want to use that language for marketing and HR purposes. I get it. So if they can't say it, I'm gonna say it. They're doing that to cater to the casual gamer. So people that really don't know no better coming into the series, they're gonna play it and be like, oh man, this game is fun. Yeah, I don't know what y'all complaining about. Like the veterans in the game, you know, the people that create the content, or I guess the ones they're looking at that's saying that we're the ones that's making the 1% of noise. And I'm like, no, we're fans of the game. We love the game. We love the product. We trying to make sure that you guys succeed so we can give you more of our money. But the issue comes in is when you throw at us an unfinished product and you expect us to spend another $80 on top of the battle pass that you're not giving enough of your currency in. Baby, please, nope. I will go and play it. I will completely quit your game and go to another game. I've done it before. Anthem. But yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nothing. Like, there's too many good games that's coming out for the remaining of this year for y'all to be playing with people's money like that. So anyway, if any of you that's playing Diablo 4 or you see this video and you're thinking about getting Diablo 4, I will say this, just like DM said. Story mode, awesome. When you get to end game, eventually you gonna fall off. A lot of y'all ain't gonna make it to level 100. And I'm a hardcore gamer, or even you will argue I'm also a pro gamer in my own right. But even in the eternal realm, my first character that I made is not 100. I stopped at level 90-ish, whatever, right? And then when I hit season 1, I forgot what level is my character right now. Season 1, my character in season 1 isn't even level 70 yet. Once I grinded out the battle pass, I was like, all right, let me take a break because Blizzard, Diablo 4, y'all making me mad. Like, if you want me to come back to your game, hopefully, I've been seeing a couple of updates that pop up on my PS5, so hopefully they fixing their game. Hopefully they're going to fix the battle pass, and they're going to fix a lot of the complaints that a lot of the veterans, a lot of the fans in the community has been saying, bro, fix this. Like, me personally, I don't care about no leaderboards. I know that's something that people want to see eventually, especially like the speedrun community and stuff like that, in the hyper competitive. But even your own like pro players like Woojio and a few others is even saying like, yo, don't worry about the leaderboards right now. Fix the game. fix the game and give us better quality content for Endgame. But that's my opinions, my thoughts, my 2 cents. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Until then, I see y'all in the next video. We up out of here. Blizzard, fix your game.